Man, how often is it when a game that is hyped up like all week, I'm talking about all week, up until the moment that the game is played, and the game actually lives up to the hype? How often does that happen? Not. Not very. And that's what we saw yesterday. That's what we saw. This Duke, North Carolina game was one for the ages. That is a legendary outcome. Like, my gosh. And UNC came out on top. What a game, man. I still have goosebumps from watching that game last night. That was like scripted up beautifully. Man, wow. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, I really feel bad for you, because this one here was for the ages. I'm so glad I watched this game from start to finish. For one, I like it was legendary. Like I said, legendary is one of those that I will remember forever type deal. And also on a side note, I mean, it was a great distraction from me realizing that the Bulls got another loss. But that's neither here nor there. We gonna focus on this game right now. North Carolina ends up winning 81-77 in a thriller. This game kept going back and forth. Like they say in basketball, it's a series of runs, and yeah, like Duke will go on a 13-2 run, and then Carolina will go on a 9-0 run, and Duke will come right back with a 7-0 run, and North Carolina will come right back. I mean, it was just back and forth, back and forth. Man, so Duke got in foul trouble early between Mark Williams and the backup center, last name John. Foul trouble early, but Duke, was weathering the storm and ended up still winning at halftime. I guess for Carolina, Caleb Love, who's basically the unsung hero of the game, he dropped 28, but he didn't get going to the second half. He hit a clutch three with 25 seconds left to put him up, I believe, 4 at that point. But man, what a game. Baycock from North Carolina, that man is a rebounding machine. 21 boards. This man had 11 points. He ended up rolling his ankle late in the game for like under 5 minutes left. And that was crucial. The way it looked, and he couldn't put any pressure on it initially, and then eventually he got up, went off to the sideline, looked like he was going to the locker room. Think he was just getting the adrenaline back up, running back and forth. Then he checks himself back in the game. Man, what a game. He comes back. He already had 4 fouls. He ended up fouling out the guy that he fouled, Mark Williams. He missed 2 crucial free throws. That kind of helped, shift the momentum to North Carolina for good. This dude, Brady Manick, I mean, the fake Dirk that I've been calling him, he wasn't getting going in the first half. Then all of a sudden, in the second half, when his number was called, I mean, he started hitting big shots. I mean, there was a point where he missed 2 crucial free throws as well, but he made up for it. Man, what a game. RJ Davis, he played excellent. He was dealing with foul trouble in the second half, but he, hung in there. He had 4 fouls. Man, for Duke, Boncaro, man, 20 and 10. This dude was going to work. Yeah, I felt like he just couldn't do no wrong. Jeremy Roach, he was a little quiet, but, he still made some big plays. Moore made some big plays. Keels off the bench with 19. This was a heck of a game. To see, Coach K was so passionate in this game on his last game out. So passionate. I haven't seen like that much emotion out the guy all year. He's been a little bit reserved. He'll pick his spots. Here and there on, I guess, when to show emotion. But in this game here, you felt it. He knew what the stakes were. And, for a guy, who's been coaching for as long as he has, I mean, in my whole life, he's been the coach of Duke. That man been coaching for 42 years? 42? That's unbelievable. So with Coach K in North Carolina, North Carolina apparently handed Coach K his first ever loss as Duke's head coach back in 1980. They also handed Coach K a loss in the final game at Cameron Indoor Stadium this year. And they also defeated Coach K in his final game as Duke's head coach. So, yeah, Coach K, all these accolades, all these accomplishments. I mean, legendary head coach. Probably he's second greatest NCAA coach of all time next to John Wooden. I mean, you could probably make that argument there, but I guess losing to North Carolina like this probably gonna sting a little bit on the way out. But that's a phenomenal feat, man. Just Coach K, the whole rivalry, just the whole mantra, the whole atmosphere. That was intense. Hubert Davis in his first year as coach is going to the championship game. Roy Williams was sitting right behind the bench, passionate as well. Knowing that his successor is just knocked off their biggest arch nemesis, the biggest rivalry in sports. And North Carolina has come out on top. North Carolina sent Coach K home for good. Man, what a game. What a game. North Carolina has been the hottest team in this tournament. The resiliency that it has shown along the way, especially when they played Baylor, and how that game went, where they was up, 25 points in the second half. Man, it gets ejected, and all of a sudden, the heart of a champion in Baylor battled all the way back, forced overtime. R.J. Davis, I believe he dropped 30 in that game, and just barely held off Baylor. UNC has just been rolling. They have grown up. They have come together. They are peaking. And they got one more game left. And that's against Kansas. The Kansas Jayhawks, man. And that game there against Villanova, Villanova showed a lot of heart and a lot of grit, knowing without Moore, their best player, that they were at a big disadvantage. And it showed. Kansas won wire to wire. They jumped out to an early, 10-point lead. They never let up. Just when you think the game was starting to get blown out, Villanova would battle back. But Villanova didn't have enough. But Kansas, man, that team is steady. That team is poised. That team is really good. McCormick, man, that man is a beast down low. A beast. 10 of 12, 25 points. The man was hitting his free throws too, 5 or 6 at the line. It was nothing that Villanova could do about that. I mean, it be like that sometimes. But yeah, I think we're in for a treat on Monday. We are in for a treat. North Carolina and Kansas for the national championship. North Carolina being the hottest team right now. Kansas probably being the most consistent, steady team at the moment. Man, Bill Self against Hubert Davis. How crazy would it be Hubert Davis to win it all in his first year? That'd be crazy. Hubert Davis, I believe, became the 10th coach to reach the Final Four in his first year as head coach. Now, I do not know the stat of how many coaches in their first year actually win it all. But I'm going to go on a limb and says not too many, if even at all. So if he pulls that off, I'm going to find out that stat. But yeah, the Final Four and the Big Easy in New Orleans, man, it doesn't get any much better than this. Had all the alumni players, like even from Grant Hill and Kenny Smith doing the broadcast. Kenny Smith went to North Carolina. Grant Hill, Duke legend. Just the competitive banter and the emotions. It was just a great sight to see. So, national championship is Monday at 8:20 Central Time. TBS. Man, that's gonna be a great one right there. All right, so quickly in other news, Kevin Durant. That man is a monster. That man dropped the double nickel. The double nickel last night against the Atlanta Hawks, and they end up taking the L. In regulation, 122 to 115. Like Kevin Durant couldn't be stopped. 8 of 10 from downtown. See, when Kyrie Irving was, when he first announced that he'll be able to play in home games and every game at this point, except playing in Toronto, like, a lot of people, including myself, initially at that moment was like, all right, Brooklyn's about to turn the corner. Brooklyn is actually about to, do some things here. But in reality, their main problem, they have two main issues. One, they can't defend anybody. They don't play any defense whatsoever. The fact that you lose to Atlanta, when I know for a fact that your team is superior because you have Kevin Durant, that shouldn't happen. But I guess that goes to the second issue is they're so top heavy. Like, nobody else is really contributing like they should. And what I mean by that is, I'll take a look at the box score here. So, Brooklyn scored 115, right? And Kevin Durant scored 55 of those. 55. So that means what? If I do the math, we got about 60 points left. Kyrie Irving scores 31 out the remaining 60. That leaves 29 points left. Nobody else is in double figures. Patty Mills was 0 for 7 with 0 points. Andre Drummond gave you 8. Edwards gave you 9. And then you only got 12 points off the bench. Like, yeah, I get you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I get that duo is so lethal, especially on the offensive end, by far. Probably the most skilled scoring duo that we've seen in a very long time, if ever. Maybe. But the last time I checked, you have to play both ends for 48 minutes at least. And Brooklyn can't do that, apparently. Just like how, if I'm not mistaken, when Brooklyn played Milwaukee the other night, Milwaukee, let me see, was down 9 in the fourth quarter. Chris Middleton gets ejected. I think it's about 5-6 minutes left, 5-4, somewhere between 4 and 6 minutes left in that game. It was looking like curtains for Milwaukee. Then all of a sudden, Giannis happened, forced overtime with that incredible shot, the step back three. And then Giannis just, snatched their hearts in OT, and the Bucks end up winning. There's no way that should happen. Just like there's no way that Atlanta should have won this game. It's like Brooklyn has the highest ceiling. They do. They do have the highest ceiling in the Eastern Conference. But if they cannot get over the fact that, the defense got to do, something a lot better than what it's doing now, they're not going to go too far in the playoffs. It's just not happening. It's not. So as we approach the final week in the regular season here, there's still, seeding up for grabs. Miami, Milwaukee, and Boston have clinched playoff spots. Charlotte and Brooklyn have clinched a berth in the play-in tournament. But spots, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 through 4 can definitely still change around. That's Miami, Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly. So any combination of those 4 can be switched around. 5 and 6. Toronto's 5. My Bulls are 6. They're just a half game apart. Cleveland can technically jump up and knock down either my Bulls or Toronto. We'll see. Atlanta can, but I doubt it. Like, Atlanta needs everything to go perfect. They're 99.9% chance of them playing in the play-in tournament. So 5, 6, and 7 are still up for grabs. 1 through 4 are still up for grabs. And there's a very slight chance that Toronto and Philly could switch spots, 4 and 5. That'll be crazy. In the West, like, Phoenix is the real deal. They're the 1 seed. Memphis, Golden State, and Dallas have all clinched spots. The Clippers, they clinched the play-in tournament spot, but they're still seeding up for grabs. Golden State is currently 3rd. They only have a game up on Dallas. That can flip-flop. Utah has an outside chance of getting the 3rd spot. They're 3 games out. I don't see that. But them and Denver are tied for 5th and 6th right now. So that's definitely going to be a lot of changing right there. Minnesota can sneak up. They're 7th. They can, snag one of those spots. They're only 2 games back. But I guess the most headlining thing is, the Lakers are outside of the play-in tournament right now at the 11th spot. They're a game behind San Antonio, but San Antonio has the tiebreaker, so they're technically 2 games behind San Antonio. And the Lakers have the hardest remaining schedule left in the NBA. Yes, Glass Frat, actually came back the other night against the Pelicans. That's another name for Anthony Davis nowadays. Glass returning T. But the Lakers have Denver today. Then they have to play Phoenix on Tuesday. The Warriors on Thursday. The Thunder on Friday. And then the Nuggets again next Sunday. Good luck. The way they've been playing, there's no way that they will make the play-in tournament, get into the playoffs. There's no way. I feel like there's at least 3 losses on that. And I'm being generous because I'm thinking 4. They should lose to Phoenix. They should lose to the Nuggets at least once. And they should lose to the Warriors. Now, the Thunder, that's the game they should win. But they could probably mess around and lose to the Nuggets twice. So, as we, left the amazing month of March, like I've been stating before, kid in the candy store the whole month. We're going from some emotional college basketball to some intensified NBA playoff basketball. So that transition is about to be seamless here. Different atmosphere, but intensity level is still going to be the same. So I'm okay with that. The NFL draft is happening at the end of the month. Major League Baseball is about to get going here later this week for opening day. I think we're going to be all right, people. The month of April is going to be all right. All right, so this is my time for today. Follow me on social media at JGoodWithSports. You all have a great Sunday. On Tuesday, we're going to talk about this national title game. Until then, peace out.